Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's time to get started. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Bree Fernie. I head up the marketing department here at ClearlyIP, and I'm going to be the presenter of today's webinar. I'm sitting here in beautiful, sunny Vancouver, Canada. With me today is Tony Lewis. He's our CEO, and I always love to team up with Tony for these webinars as he's able to do the technical live demo for everyone. So today he's going to provide a showcase of our new desktop softphone platform with tight integration into FreePBX. He will also lead the Q&A at the end of our webinar. Tony, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Yourself, Bree?
I'm doing fantastic. Can't complain. It's a nice day here.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So I'm really pleased to lead the product launch presentation today. If you're here to learn about a great alternative desktop softphone for FreePBX systems, you're in the right place. If you're an existing ClearlyIP customer or just interested in learning about our softphone solution, you're definitely in the right place today. So by the end of this webinar, you should know what Clearly Anywhere Desktop is, the features and benefits of using Clearly Anywhere for desktop and mobile, of course, why businesses are using Clearly Anywhere and who is really utilizing softphones, and how Clearly Anywhere can make a difference in your business, really any business of any size or sector. So let's start with what is Clearly Anywhere. So Clearly Anywhere Desktop is a softphone that utilizes your internet connection to make and receive calls from your desktop or laptop computer. It is available on Windows and iOS for computers, and apps are available on Google Play and the Apple Store for Android and iOS mobile devices. So it's been created to integrate seamlessly for FreePBX systems. The best way to see this and just how it works is we will walk you through the functions when Tony gives us that live demonstration. So let's get started. So setup. Setup is super simple. Once you've configured the PBX, something Tony's going to go over in a few minutes, you simply install the program, then log in at the prompt with your username. If you're using FreePBX, you're going to use your username for FreePBX, your password, and your domain. If you're using the mobile device version, then after the user is authorized for Clearly Anywhere, you can go into the user control panel and scan an auto-generated QR code. Our users love the simplicity with that QR code. Clearly Anywhere was really designed to enable the user the ability to install the device on as many devices as they need, since the licensing is created at the user level. So every user can install it wherever they need to be, home, office, laptop, etc. I'm not sure if any of you saw our blog, my blog that went out yesterday, that really I turn my computer and all my devices into Inspector Gadget, because it's true. You can really have all the tools you need to be able to work from any device anywhere you need to be. So Clearly Anywhere Desktop is integrated with FreePBX, so every instance that has been installed becomes part of your extension. So if your primary extension is 100, then it's going to be the same for your softphone extension. And any calls directed to your extension, whether from a queue, a ring group, or a direct dial, will ring on both your desktop softphone as well as your desk phone if you have one. Inbound calls on mobile devices are delivered using mobile push servers. So when the application is not running in the foreground, inbound calls still arrive at your phone with no additional battery drain. You'll see the caller's number pop up on your screen, and you simply hit the green answer button. So simply bring up Clearly Anywhere on your desktop and then go to the keypad and enter in any phone number, extension, or feature code. Anything you would typically dial from your desk phone, hit the call button. So outbound calling is really simple and easy to do. We have fully integrated SMS and MMS into FreePBX's messaging system. So if you're using a SIP carrier that offers SMS and MMS service, ClearlyIP does offer this, I want to mention. So if SMS has been set up for the user, the messages can be sent right from the Clearly Anywhere desktop application, no different than initiating a message from the user control panel UCP in FreePBX. The benefit for this is that messages are synced and will show up on all the devices Clearly Anywhere has been installed on, as well as in the UCP. So a lot like the Apple iMessaging experience or the Android RCS, it's very intuitive and works seamlessly. Clearly Anywhere offers full quick dial capability. Quick dials aren't necessarily contacts, they're just numbers that you call often. So Clearly Anywhere allows you to see busy light fields, BLFs for your organization. Those BLFs are server side on your PBX. So if a user in your organization is on a call, it will indicate that for you. We offer full history. Clearly Anywhere will keep a list of your call history reflected on all the devices it is installed on. This is really slick. If you're going between devices, you still have access to that full call history. We offer 2 types of Do Not Disturb. We offer on demand. This allows you to turn this function on or off on only your current device at your discretion. All other instances will still ring. There is also the ability to set schedules. You can set simple schedules like D&D after 5 o'clock when you're done for the day. It also allows you to set more complex schedules, such as specific days of the week, if you do have an unusual schedule here or there. All right, so it's pretty fabulous to see. So I'm going to pass things over to Tony. It's an amazing solution, but really the best way for people to understand it, I feel, is to do more of a showcase and see it in action. Tony, I'm going to hand over to you now.
Okay, sounds good. Let me get set up here. So I've got a free PBX-based system up here, and I'm just going to navigate to the Clearly Anywhere module to begin with, and then we'll talk about the app a little bit. So the module itself, just like it does for mobile, it takes care of all of your management of what users are allowed to log in and different settings related to Clearly Anywhere. So in our example here, we can see that we're licensed for 10 users. We've assigned 1 user with access, and 5 other users have inherited permissions from a group they belong to with access. So 6 out of our 10 licenses are being used. The service is up and running online. It's been up for 24 days in this box. And then we can see that the way login happens is it comes through an API server that we have out in the cloud. We can see that your Clearly Anywhere software on the free PBX system is able to connect to our API. Everything's good. And we can see that we're active with a subscription expiring February 24th, 2022, and that we have desktop licensed also. Down here, we can actually see what users have been enabled for Clearly Anywhere. So we can see there's 6, 1 of them that was given explicit permission, and 5 of them that were inherited by the group the user belongs to for permissions. All this permission system is handled through FreePBX's user management system. So when you go to log in Clearly Anywhere, you log in with your user manager account in FreePBX. You don't log in with your SIP credentials. You never share that. You never leak that information out. They're just logging in with their user man credentials, the same thing they use to log into the user control panel in FreePBX, for example. So it's pretty easy to manage. And what you do is, if we go look in User Manager, we will see we have users. And if we go look at Mike Smith, we'll see there's a Clearly Anywhere tab. And in here, we've explicitly enabled the soft phone. We could inherit it from the group, so whatever group he belongs to, whatever that's set to is what his permission would be, but here we've explicitly enabled it. We've enabled messaging for SMS, and we've said which DID belongs to him, to this user, to be able to send and receive SMSs. And then we've enabled what we call group level quick dials. So within the group the user belongs to, you can define quick dials, which are basically BLFs. And then you can actually define user level. So we're saying, yep, bring everything in that belongs to this group, and then also add whatever you want. And you can add explicit quick dials that may not be part of the group. So in this example, I'm adding a BLF for the call flow toggle called test in FreePBX. And then paging auto answer. So by default, we're telling it to inherit from the group whether this device should honor an auto answer. So if I send a page to extension 1000, should this device auto answer when it gets that page for from the page group if it's part of the page group. So you can enable, disable that, or inherit it from the group permission. So when it's enabled, anytime a call comes in that's an auto answer call, so either an intercom or a page, the device will attempt to auto answer. And then we get these emergency rules, and we're saying inherit it from the group. And we'll go look at a group in a minute and explain what the emergency rules are. So at a user level, normally you'd have most things set to inherit, and you're just going to inherit from the group, but you can explicitly change things at a user level too. So if we go look at a group in FreePBX, the user manager group, we'll see there's a Clearly Anywhere tab up here. And basically the same settings. We're saying, yep, enable the soft phone, enable messaging. Here's all the BLFs that everyone in this group's going to get. We're disabling the paging for auto answering. And then we've enabled some emergency rules. So what we're saying down here is if somebody calls 911 from the Clearly Anywhere app, and this would only pertain to mobile, it's saying go ahead and use the cell network to send the 911 call out instead of sending it to the PBX. That way the 911 center can get the geolatitude and latitude of where the call's coming from for geolocation information. So we've got our user enabled, and now I'm going to do is I've got Clearly Anywhere over here. So this is the app. We're going to log in with our userman account. My userman account happens to be an extension number. My username is, and then my userman password, and then the domain of the PBX normally would be an actual domain, not an IP, but on my test box it's an IP. And we'll hit sign in, and this is going to go hit our API, and our API is going to hit your PBX, and it's going to pull down and provision itself. And now we're logged into our soft phone. So we can see we're user 1000, we're online. We're not currently in Do Not Disturb. If we hit the little button here, we'll see it's now purple. Do Not Disturb has been turned on. We can click it again and turn Do Not Disturb off. Under contacts, we'll see all of our quick dials. So I can make this bigger. And we can see what the current BLF status of those quick dials are. So if one of these users was on a call, it would show on a call currently. We can click on any of these to get the details, and we can call them or message them. Address book it pulls from your corporate address book on your computer. So whatever address book, like on a Mac, there's a built-in address book, and Windows has one. It'll pull from the built-in address book all your contacts. Again, quick dials come from the server. These are server defined. And you can add custom quick dials. So you can hit the little plus here, add a name, the URL, which is, or URI, not L, which would usually be the phone number. And then if you want this to be BLF capable or not. So I could say Mike, if I could type today, and then I can type in his phone number. And that could be an extension or maybe his office number, which then wouldn't have a BLF on it. So I can go ahead and add all the quick dials I want that aren't coming from the server as add-ons. Up here's my dial pad, so I can start making calls at any time. I can hit recent button here, and I'll see all my recent calls and messages. So if I go make a call, I'll call the echo test. And we see we're on an active call. We can put the call on hold. You can see return to call. We can hit here to go back to the call. We can bring up the keypad if we need to, we can bring up the keypad if we need to do like an IVR entry. We can press something if it's an IVR we got. And then from here, we can add a caller to do conferencing. We can hit the tended button and the blind button to do a blind transfer. We can mute the call. If we want to get rid of that left side, notice this little button up here. I can click this and it'll hide all this information and give me a bigger screen of just the active call. So we can hang that call up. I forgot I had this set to the headset, so it was going back and forth between the webinar and the soft phone.
We only lost you for 1 second.
Okay.
Don't worry.
No problem. So now we can see under our call history of that *43 we just done. We wanted to send a text message. We could start typing the phone number. And instead of the call button, hit the message button. And now we can start sending a message. And now that person could reply back. Again, the SMS, MMS stuff all ties into FreePBX's messaging system. So as long as your SIP provider handles messaging into FreePBX, our app will pull from there. For example, Clearly, our own SIP trunking, Clearly SIP trunking has full support for SMS and MMS into FreePBX. And then they can reply back to that message and you'll receive all your messages on your desktop app here. So that is kind of, and then settings. So there's a little gear cog here. If we click on that, we can bring up information. So about page to see what version you have. This will show you your account information that you logged in with. Notifications, so you can set different ringtones and different text tones. Under sounds, you can set, for example, for speaker, if you have a headset, like I have a Jabra, I can set my Jabra for the speaker and my Jabra if I want it for the microphone versus using the built-in, whatever the system preferences are of your local computer. You can override that. And then same with the ringtone. If you want ringing to go over a speaker, but you want the speaker and microphone when you're on a call to be your headset, but ringing to be speakers on your computer, you could set this to be the built-in output. And then here I could set these to be the headset. So now ringing will come out my speakers, but my actual talking will be across the headset. Recording, if you want to record the calls locally, this just records them on the local computer. And then what your retention policy is. Control, so do you want this app to launch every time you log into your computer automatically? And then do you want to use this as your default calling app? And this is really important for like click to call. Both Windows and Mac natively support on basically every browser nowadays, and inside most apps, native what's called Tele, the Tele interface, TEL interface, for click to call. So for example, if I bring up our website, and you'll notice I can click on this number and it says, do you want to make a call? And I have an Android phone from Motorola or Clearly Anywhere, and it will actually make that call right from Clearly Anywhere. So you get all your click to dialing right from your browsers without having to install any browser plugins. And that's just because we've registered set as the default calling app. So for a Mac, when you hit settings, it's going to tell you you have to go into FaceTime and set Clearly Anywhere as the default app. On Windows, I think it just lets you do it. Every operating system's a little different. If you ever need to factory reset, like you would a phone, you can hit the reset button here and factory reset, and that will wipe out all of your login and all your settings and everything, and then a new user can log in. And then logs, if you're having problems and we need logs from you on a support ticket, you can come to logs, hit save it, and attach it to the ticket, and that gives us the full output of logs from the device. Okay, so that's our quick demo. At this time, we'll open it up for Q&A. So there's a Q&A section in the webinar software here. Will the slides be available after the webinar? The slides won't, but the presentation does. So we always record the presentations and we put them up on our YouTube channel and on our website on the video menu. That usually happens, Bree, what, 2-3 days after the webinar they're usually up?
You betcha.
Okay. Is the softphone compatible with Fusion PBX, which is based on FreePBX? It's compatible with any free PBX-based system. So it's a softphone built for FreePBX-based system. So if it truly is a FreePBX-based system that lets you install modules, then yes. For page auto answer, can that be set for a user to some of his or her devices, but not all? That page only, that's a Clearly Anywhere setting. So that has nothing to do with any desktop phones. That's Clearly Anywhere only setting, and it would affect any of their logged in Clearly Anywhere users. Does the install require a certificate to be added to FreePBX? No, it's all SIP based, so it doesn't require it if you're just doing straight UDP. The app itself, as far as what it's going to use, UDP versus TCP versus TLS and SSL and everything, is all driven from what you have set in your extension in FreePBX. So if you have an extension set up to do SRTP, which is call encryption, and TLS for signaling, then you'd have to have a certificate on your PBX because you'd need that for those protocols. The app itself just honors whatever you have set up in your extension. in free PBX. You mute the ringtone or replace. Currently, you can't do custom ringtones. There's ringtones included. You have to pick one of those. And then as far as muting, I don't think so. There's no ability to mute that. That'd be a good feature request. Is the licensing all on the server side? Yeah, so it's all server side through that module. You define, you buy licensing from us, and then you activate it in the module, and that module tracks all of your users and which users have access to Clearly Anywhere. So if you buy a user license for 5 users, only 5 users are allowed to enable Clearly Anywhere in User Manager. I've got ClearlyIP mobile app a while ago. Does that give me desktop? So desktop's a separate purchase. Did we cover this yet, or do you do that after the demo?
Yes, after the Q&A, I'm going to move into the pricing next.
Okay. Can we register this against a SIP proxy? If so, where would you change the server address? No, currently this registers straight to free PBX. This is designed for free PBX, natively built into free PBX. By default, free PBX doesn't really do proxies. Like, I guess you could put a proxy in front of it, but the app itself is designed to directly connect to free PBX. What's the call quality like? It's going to be as good as what your internet connection is. As far as codecs, again, it's going to inherit the codecs from what you have set up on your free PBX system or any overrides you have at the extension level in free PBX. So if you've got Opus as your primary codec, it's going to use Opus and it's going to sound phenomenal, or G722. If you're using a compressed codec, it's going to sound as good as that compressed codec. It's going to be as good as whatever codec you're telling free PBX to support and whatever overrides you have in your extensions in free PBX. How much bandwidth does it use? Again, that's totally up to what codec you use. Every codec's different. It can range from 20 kilobytes of bandwidth to 80 kilobytes of bandwidth per call. Does it work well over a VPN? Yeah, as long as the VPN has access to the PBX to allow registration, it'll work just fine over a VPN. I use it every day. That seems like all the questions so far, Bree.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to take over the screen sharing and just go over some pricing information for everyone. Awesome. All right, so thanks for that demo, Tony. It really, for someone like myself, that I consider myself technical enough to be dangerous, it really demonstrates how easy this tool is to use and set up. So let's go into some pricing now. Clearly Anywhere Desktop has a yearly per system activation cost of only $99 USD per year, and after that it's a $19.99 per seat MSRP. So we're currently running a promotion until the end of this month where it's a $5 in savings per seat. So you're looking at $14.99 per seat. So let's say you had a company with 20 employees and you wanted to equip 10 of them with Clearly Anywhere Desktop and 10 of them with Clearly Anywhere Mobile, then the pricing would be as follows: $99 one-time Clearly Desktop activation fee, and then 20 seats at that sale price right now of $14.99 per seat, which comes to $299. So the total yearly charge would be that $99 desktop activation fee plus the $299 license fee, which comes to around $399 per year. So each of the 20 employees could use either mobile or desktop and install it on unlimited devices. There's a few ways to purchase.
Bree, I think another way I try to explain this too is, we get it, for some people it might be complicated, but we've tried to actually simplify it. You have to buy user licensing, and those are $19.99 a month, or I'm sorry, a year, not a month. $19.99 a year. Right now they're on sale for $14.99. And when you buy those user licenses, that gives you access to our mobile app, and any user can use that mobile app. If you want to give support for desktop, you pay a flat $99 a year, and that allows any of those users to use desktop. So by paying the $14.99 a year per user, that gives you just mobile, and then you just pay a flat $100 a year, and every one of your users gets to use desktop.
Yeah, that might be a better way of approaching it, Tony, because it really illustrates how simple it is to add desktop for clients that are already using Clearly Anywhere for mobile. It's just that one-time activation, and boom, you can deploy it to all your mobile licensed users.
Yep.
Okay, there are a few ways you can purchase Clearly Anywhere. You can email our sales department at sales@clearlyip.com. You can visit our website at clearlyip.com and click on the chat icon. You can contact us directly in the US or Canada. Our toll-free numbers are on our website. And really, if you want another demo or you want to see how this works, you can call sales. They'd be happy to do a one-on-one with you and show you how easy, again, it is to set up, deploy, use, and have all your users benefit from being able to work really anywhere. So you can place your orders also directly on our store.clearlyip.com. During normal business hours, the orders are usually taking just under an hour to complete and authorize, so quick turnaround for everyone. Upon order completion, you'll be sent an email with your module key code and instructions so you can quickly get up and running. If you have a larger order or you're looking for a quote, feel free to request that. You can go on our website, clearlyip.com/request-quote is where you want to point your browser. You can outline your request on our online form and sales will get back to you straight away. So we've already gone through some Q&A. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions on the pricing for Tony. Otherwise, I do want to mention that we have a case study on our website, which is a great example of a benefits company that added Clearly Anywhere to their entire portfolio. They have desktop phones, but they wanted to add Clearly Anywhere for their mobile users to extend global reach. It was a phenomenal solution for them. If you're interested in the impact this tool has made with our clients, head over to clearlyip.com/success-stories. You'll find a number of different success stories, but you'll want to check out Midwest Benefits Exchange case study, which really outlines how softphones made a huge difference in their business. We have a jam-packed schedule of webinars. I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. We've got an ongoing series of education and training webinars throughout the summer into September. We also have some really exciting product launches planned for this month and June. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing those product launches closer to those dates. Check out our events page on our website. And next Thursday, so coming up on May 6th, this Thursday, I guess, you might want to join us for our SIP trunking webinar. It's a SIP trunking 101. You'll learn the fundamentals and really why businesses are making the move to SIP trunks to replace their old telephone lines and extend their reach all over the world. So thank you again. Tony, did any other questions come in, or are we good to wrap up here?
Let me look really quick. So I got it. What is the recommended codec? I don't think we would ever recommend a codec. It all depends on your use and what, is your PBX set up for things like Opus? Like this is 100% dependent on what your PBX is set up to handle and what you're using already for codecs. We support every codec like your desk phones do. Does this require your phone system to have a public IP? Yeah, the point of Clearly Anywhere, especially for mobile, is you're outside the office. So yeah, you're going to have a public IP for your phones to connect to. Will the webinar be available to watch online? Yeah, so the recording comes up 2 to 3 days after the webinar is done. It'll get put up on our website and our YouTube channel. So $99 isn't for each user, it's $99 one time. That is correct. So once you buy your users at the current $14.99 a month or a year, I'm going to confuse somebody, $14.99 a year, that gives you access to install Clearly Anywhere on any mobile device. If you want desktop on top of that, you just pay a flat $99 a year to activate desktop for all your users. It's not $99 per user, it's just $99 per system. Okay, that is all the questions, Bree.
All right. Well, thank you, Tony. That was fun. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I hope we will see you on Thursday on SIP trunking. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Bye-bye.